Do we dare mention other game companies? Yes, we dare.
Oh, let's go! I was gasping.
So I thought you might have been having one of your hiccups.
So we both kind of grew up like Sega kids, but that's not really relevant anymore.
That's true.
I've owned an original PlayStation. I played some like Spyro, Mega Man X. What else? I don't know.
Those were the main ones.
Yeah.
I remember.
Mission Impossible, maybe. Or maybe that was on 64. I've owned a 360. Got that one for testing our indie game that we were trying to make.
Yes.
And it was going to come to Xbox 360. And just never tested it. Never even used it for that. I did play Portal 1 and 2.
Yes.
So that was worth the $300, whatever.
Absolutely.
And now it's my DVD player. So, voila.
Hey, it's a fantastic one at that, too.
Yeah.
I own a PlayStation. Every once in a while, I'll bring it out.
I told you to throw that away. We started the show.
I know. I kept it. No, I bring it out every once in a while. I don't have very many games for it because, I started on the other consoles. I didn't get that until, I bought it from your brother.
Oh, wow.
So, other than that, I mean...
Which brother?
Alex. He bought it, and then he wasn't allowed to keep it, and so I bought it from him. For like $6 or something.
Sounds like Alex.
Yep.
So we did our gaming confessions episode where we got like the Nintendo stuff off our chest. But I've got another big bomb to drop here. I have yet to play an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. I don't think I've even touched one of those controllers.
Wow.
I just don't have a friend with one, I guess.
Now, I don't have a friend whose house I go over to that has an Xbox One. I've never touched one or a controller, but my brother does have a PS4.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the same boat as you, as I'm kind of out of the loop as far as those things go.
Right, because with the aforementioned ignorance, I feel like I'm pretty much out of the loop on like 3/4 of what the game industry is talking about. Wow, The Witcher, Call of Duty, Dead or Alive, Dead Space. What other games are there?
I don't know. PlayStation All-Stars, I guess.
That's one.
The Last of Us. Destiny,
right.
Rocket League.
Yes.
Rocket League hasn't even come to Wii U, did it?
No, it hasn't. So I feel like I'm really missing out big time. So I think it could definitely serve me well to get another console.
It might.
The third parties, it's the same story every Nintendo console. They don't support it. The next one's announced. Everybody's like, ooh, maybe this is the one that third parties will support. Maybe third parties will be making Switch games. And yes, they put out a big graphic with a bunch of logos on it. But
including Capcom.
Yeah. But there's just this horrible cycle where the developers are like, we're going to test the waters with Nintendo. We're going to port one of our old games. No one buys it because
it's an old game.
Played it. It's an old game. And then they're like, see, no one buys our stuff on Nintendo consoles. So if you want to play third-party games, if you want to play these other Sony and Microsoft exclusive games, you have to have another console. And for me, it's a time thing. I just don't have time. I could save up and get one if I wanted to, but I can barely play all the Nintendo stuff as it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there scrambling for an NES Classic Edition. I have one, and I played it like 4 times for 20 minutes each or something like that. That's sad.
Yeah. I mean, we're busy people nowadays.
Yeah.
And, I want to keep up on the Nintendo stuff, and I have a job, and I have these other things that I do. But my brother, since he has the PS4, he actually stays up on top of a lot of the upcoming game news. So I rely on him as my main information source for most of the game industry because I'm clueless and he actually knows
That's nice.
what's going on.
You should give him a shout out because he's part of the crew.
Thank you, Josiah.
So since I have to pick one, since I only really have time to be invested in one console, one ecosystem, I'm glad that I went with Nintendo. I think I made the right choice there. If you have to just have one, I think the best exclusives are with Nintendo. And then I've got a big backlog of games that I'd like to go beat. when I get the time, and also a bunch of indie games. You might not have the third parties with Nintendo, but you do have the indies. They have a good system in place for indies to get their games out on Nintendo's platforms these days. So that's good.
That's true. And going back to the time thing, and we're going to talk a little bit about it tomorrow, it is a big thing is, where am I going to spend my time?
Yeah.
And you could, when you look at the two libraries of Nintendo and the other guys, there are some exclusives, and there's starting to be more exclusives now on the other two platforms. But different games, but the same target audience.
Gotcha.
And Nintendo is a different target audience.
Yeah.
So you could gain from getting both, or you might not gain anything for getting the other one.
Yeah.
In that you might just not be interested in those games, because I know a lot of it is first-person shooters, RPGs, and action RPGs, and I am just not into those. And so every once in a while, I'll pick up something with my brother and we'll play something, but as far as what Nintendo gives me, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and it's not a time issue for you, if you're a kid, if you're still in the house, if you don't have a full-time job and it's more of a money issue, or maybe you even have the money, but it's not the time, I would go ahead and do it. I would get another console. But I would talk to your parents first.
Yes.
Because, like my little brother, you mentioned him, you bought his PlayStation from him. A few years later, he got his 360. And I was like, that's cool, Alex, but there's just not going to be much on that system that you're allowed to play. And it was true, and he's kind of left with not that much to do. So
that's true.
Just make sure. Simeon, I think it's great that you've got Josiah to play his games. So another piece of advice is just to make friends with other consoles.
Absolutely.
They can benefit from you, you can benefit from them.
And like Scott was saying, we are a big advocate of parent involvement in their kids' lives, as far as lives. I'm a grammar teacher and I use the word lives.
Maybe that was...
lives. Yeah.
You could have just written it off as a video game joke.
I could have. Yeah, lives.
And drawn the attention away from your grammar.
Yeah, but it's too late now.
Yep.
Be involved in your kids' life. See what they play. Play it with them. Be a part.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to leave your comments below. Do you have other consoles, or are you strictly a Nintendo gamer?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're strictly not a Nintendo gamer. Tell us about it in the comments.
In which case, get out of the doors over there.
Get out!
Just kidding.
No.
See you guys next time.
Signing out.